Welcome to Ciclismo Racing 2021, a return to racing. We started our season off with a wilderness first aid course so we could keep each other safe. We worked on developing our skills.
Nice, Ronan.
And some of us found where our boundaries are. We worked on the pump track and developing our sense of smooth. And we took that to the trail, even when it was a little snowy. Our return to racing came in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where Trace, Andrew, and Cade represented the team. We had to stay home and have practice in the snow. As it turns out, it wasn't too bad. We then took the whole show on the road to the Soho race in Utah, where we gained a lot of experience racing at the national level for the first time, got to stand on some podiums, and have a lot of fun. The fixes got their coffee grind on, and our second day of racing was another challenge. Well, Brandon and Gage cooked themselves so hard they had to sit in the snow to cool off. We had a fun ride on the way home, and then we returned to working on pumping everything.
Yes. 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 Yes.
We then returned to racing at local Valley Racing. Yes.
Yeah, Brody! Woo!
Brody came home as the winner of the chainless race, and Mary Ellis stood on top of the podium. We also had a tragic loss this summer. One of my favorite goofballs, Malcolm Hall, passed away from a fentanyl poisoning, and his soul will forever be missed on this planet. We also gained some new souls through our middle school program and got to head back and ride some of our favorite trails at Kurt Gowdy. The summer came into full swing. We swam in the reservoir, worked on our tan lines and our skills, played bike polo for the first time since the pandemic, and returned to racing at the GoPro Mountain Games in Vail. We enjoyed hanging around, and Cade represented the team in Montana.
Yeah, Cade!
Brody made himself a new friend. He tried kissing it to become a prince, but it didn't quite work out. We did our intervals on Towers Road.
Come on, finish it! Come on, Gavin, come on! There you go, great job. Great job, way to finish.
And while the suffering was hard, it always makes race day easier. We were back at Winter Park and standing on more podiums, and sometimes just enjoying the race being done. More fun at the reservoir, with plenty of time to be goofy. the Craig Myers had a send-off party before we went to nationals. Check out Ronan with the bag in midair. We had a great time and went to Winter Park.
All right, go, get it, buddy. Come here. Off the brakes, off the brakes.
Kel Huter started us off with a win in the non-championship downhill, and Jake followed it up with a 5th place in the 13-14 cross country. Everybody had a great time, challenging themselves. The fields were super strong and really big.
Come on, Trace. Come on, Andrew. Get through, get through. You guys got it, you got it, you got it.
And it was at times hugely frustrating. Look, Cade's just coming to the party. Everyone was resolute and gave their best. We made some new friends, and Brandon represented with a top 10 in the short track. We then switched gears to the high school festival.
This is for a Stars and Stripes jersey, the first freshman national champ here at the high school festival. What a great ride. Richard Morris comes through from Rocky Mountain High School. It's going to be Corbin Parsley now. What a piece of
Cade then followed Andrew's win up with a 2nd place in the sophomore race. And Andrew took home the championship in the freshman race, ending our summer season on a high note.
The kids got it.
Here's Cannon showing us how rad you can get with a really good hip hinge. And here we are teaching Sawyer the hip hinge on our Kung Fu boxes at the park. As we start our high school season, we're working on our wheel lifts and our fundamentals, our bike body separation, but mostly we're getting to know our new big Lobos family. Taking our skills to the trail.
That's not the line, but I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, Coach.
Coach Susie shows us her skills, and then she helps Mary Ellis do the same.
Eyes up, eyes up.
Yes, you got it.
Mother, yes. God.
Colby showing us his hip hinge, and Cade showing us his bunny hop.
You're good at it. I prefer figure.
Here we're working on some drops and pumps in the background, and working on our switchbacks. And then we take these skills to the trail. You can see that we're spotting as we come up to the switchback and then ride to that spot. This really was a beautiful day. We made a new friend up at Happy Jack, and just in case he came back, we made ourselves a fort. Then it was time for us to get started with some early racing before the real high school racing started. We stood on some podiums,
Landing zone.
then got back to working on our skills and having fun on our local trails.
Low shoulders. Get low.
Everybody's
Get low. Get low.
making progress. downhill, as well as up. Then we headed back to Winter Park to do some racing and stand on some more podiums. We had some poor air quality and took advantage of the time to work on our skills, and once the air was better, enjoyed ripping our local trails.
Nice job. You got this. Oh yeah, I like that. Low and awesome, that's it. Good control, that's it, Ryan, nice. Good control.
Then the New Belgium short track started back up, and we have our own Northern Colorado University of bike racing. We then took all these skills to Steamboat, where we pre-rode and got to know the trails, boosted a little air. That looks like fun, coach. Let me try. It caught Isaac by a little more surprise. Perry handled it with class. Jacob handled it just fine. Aren't we supposed to pump this, coach? Kel said, no, get steezy. And Trace is never left behind when getting steezy. Our parents put on a wonderful potluck out at the Dale's place. We set up camp, had a bonfire, and talked about courage. It was an early morning start, and we were off to the races. Hutch was our race director in Steamboat, and Coach Jeremy got us warmed up and staged, and we started off racing. We had a lot of fun as morning turned into afternoon, and some of us ride wheelies when we're nervous before our race. But then all eyes were down the trail and on riding fast.
Yeah, buddy!
And we flew through the afternoon and rode hard to the finish. And everybody had a great first weekend of racing. Returning home to Fort Collins and riding Audrey Culver from the very top. And entertaining the hikers too. Tristan went bananas about playing bike polo. And then we headed up to Eagle for our next racing adventure. Coach B-Rad showed up. We drank some chocolate milk and tried to handle the Dust Bowl the best we could. Coach Jeremy encouraging Michael to push all the way to the finish. And Trace showing us his style. Once again, the best part of the day was when everyone grouped on the final descent to encourage the sophomore boys. As the light got low in the fall, we enjoyed having Bobcat Ridge reopened. and then headed to Granby Ranch, where we were happy to have our new Rocky tents. As the weather turned damp and cold, the morning rainbow gave us hope. And our junior varsity boys were off first, putting 3 in the top 5. Cole Swanson finishing his last high school mountain bike race. Mary Ellis put on a show, winning the junior varsity girls race in a 2-up sprint, while Gianna started in the leader's jersey, rode away by herself, and didn't see anybody until after the finish. Jake started off our freshman boys race. And then our varsity boys started last. It looked like the weather was going to hold, but after the first feed, the snow came in and the race was shortened by a lap. Kate and Andrew were still second and third. We waved goodbye to Granby Ranch and headed home
Ryan, you got this.
to work on our technical climbing. Then we headed out to Durango for the most beautiful race venue and our state championships. Set up our home for the weekend. Dwight and Aaron Hall donated crazy socks to the team for the state championship to keep Malcolm's crazy spirit alive in the team. The freshman boys started off with the first race of the weekend, where Jake got to the front early, and all of our athletes put out their best effort. Jake found himself alone coming to the finish, and he brought home the first state championship of the weekend. Next were our junior varsity girls. Maya completed her first high school mountain bike season, and Mary Ellis kept the streak alive and brought home a 5th place medal from the state championships. Our junior varsity boys were up next. The dust was on heavy and thick for these guys, and by the second lap, they looked like ghosts. Gunnar and Cade got themselves to the front. Gunnar looked back and then charged to a 7th place finish, with Cade right behind in 8th. Jackson powered in just behind them, and we called that a day for Saturday. Sunday morning, we started off with the sophomore girls, and Gianna started in the points leader's jersey, but she also started with a cold and struggled, but valiantly got a top 10 finish. Next were our sophomore boys. Scout Cole McGinnis made a whole bunch of passes and kept passing all the way to the finish, where he came in 5th place and brought home another medal for the team. Brody had a rougher day and learned a lot more about being human. All in all, it was a great day for our sophomore boys, and we finished the day with our varsity boys and our sophomores cheering them on. Andrew, as a senior, rode his last high school mountain bike race, and Cade made the front group. Andrew ended up by himself and charging a time trial for the whole day. Tristan rode to a top 20 finish. Cade came in 5th place, and everyone felt good about the effort they had made. As a team, Rocky Mountain ended up 5th place Division I team with 80 teams participating at state. Mary Ellis received the Most Improved Rider Award for the last 4 years. Congratulations on a great season, Lobos.